And now it's my pleasure to welcome Daniel Bloch Jeydel, who is a multi-generational member of our congregation and also serves on our Board of Trustees. And we welcome him to the pulpit now in his role as chair of our Philanthropic Committee and to share a brief update.
Every family has their story, a unique Jewish American story from Rebecca and Kenneth Bender's book, Still, recently found me. It was spring of 1944, and at 2 a.m., Kenneth Bender, a United States Army captain in Northern Ireland, answered an urgent knock. A messenger relayed orders from headquarters. All Jewish soldiers in his unit were to meet at the officer's tent in 15 minutes. Captain Bender quickly assembled his men and called out the names of the Jewish soldiers, instructing them to get dressed and meet him outside. As he waited in the chill, he wondered why was it just this group that was being summoned. Inside the tent, an officer revealed that the German army was killing Jewish POWs on sight. The risk was so immense since each American soldier was issued and wore at all times their dog tags, so that if they were killed, their next of kin would be notified and their religion for purposes of burial would be considered. To protect themselves, the soldiers were urged to change the letter H for Hebrew on their tags to P for Protestant or C for Catholic. Captain Bender faced the lieutenant's machine with a choice that brought his grandma Becky's words to mind. You carry the joys and responsibilities of your religion. You carry the history of your people. He knew his identity was immutable, regardless of the circumstances. Sir, I will not make the change, Captain Bender told his lieutenant. Then Captain Bender told the men assembled that they had the option to do as they wished, and he started to walk toward the exit. That's when he heard Private Feldman, Sir, I will not make the change. Then Private First Class Skirman, Sir, I will not make the change. And on, like a rolling echo in a tent covered with burlap that would not naturally lead to the phenomenon of an echo. These were man-made echoes. These were echoes that came from thousands of years of faith. We've had many surprises as Jews since October 7. In our own way, many of us have been faced with a version of Captain Bender's defining question, whether or not to affirm ourselves as Jewish people and be public about this in the face of potential danger. Since October 7th, I've thought about these echoes, particularly when I bring together my grandfather's dog tags, Robert Bloch, a member of this temple, and Richard Jeydel, with the symbol that many of us have worn around our chests this year, the tags that read, Tak Zeru Otam Haibata Akshav, bring them home now. Beyond this important symbol, over the past year, so many of us have affirmed the ancient and sacred work of Jewish philanthropy through tzedakah and service with Temple Emanu-El. Because of your generosity over the past year, your philanthropic fund has been able to make grants that no individual would be able to do on their own. By the evening of October 7, we began the work of an additional appeal, and you answered. We invested immediately into hospitals treating the injured in the Gaza envelope in Israel's north. We supported wounded warriors, trauma services for survivors of the Nova Festival. We participated in airlifts of basic necessities to displaced Israelis, and we used our basement as a staging ground. And our support extended to the Druze and Bedouin communities. Through our partnership with our sister synagogues in the Israel Reform Movement, IMPJ, We made the largest individual donation that they've ever received from a congregation. We received 10 testimonials. I'll share just one from Kfar Aza. The Kfar Aza community is grappling with profound sorrow in the aftermath of October 7th massacres, which resulted in the loss of 79 lives and the kidnapping of 18 individuals. Hen Kotler, a resident of the kibbutz, expresses, "Our community is still in a state of shock, shattered. Many are struggling to function, both families of those murdered and those taken hostage. It feels as though we are standing in a circle around the edge of a volcano, holding hands. Each time one of us is about to fall into the molten lava, the others pull him or her back up, taking turns to support each other." She goes on to say, "The assistance from IMPJ's rabbis and Temple Emanu-El resembles an iron rod firmly planted in the earth near the volcano. We know we can all grasp onto it, and it remains solid and won't break apart. We have the assurance that they stand behind us, and the spiritual and emotional sustenance, above all else, is what has been holding us together." Your philanthropic fund is focused on sustaining Judaism, strengthening Israel, global humanitarian crises, and New Yorkers in need. We channel the Jewish teaching from Leviticus, "The strangers who reside with you shall be to you as your citizens, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." Last year, we announced our partnership with HIAS to support the migrant population in our city. I am pleased to say that based on last year's work, we are renewing and expanding the relationship by again underwriting the cost of an Avodah Fellow. Through HIAS's effective model, this one hire is able to organize dozens of volunteers who offer wraparound social services for asylum seekers from the time that they arrive in our city until the end of their pathway to citizenship. Our first grant has gone on to inspire other synagogues and donors to participate further. We are also supporting Americans in North Carolina and Florida impacted by the recent hurricanes. Several synagogues have opened their doors and are providing shelter to anyone who needs them. I am thrilled tonight to announce a series of grants to fight anti-Semitism by investing in the Jewish experience on college campuses in every borough of our city. Building on our support for Hunter College Hillel, Hunter is 2 blocks this way, 2 avenues that way, as many of you know. We are granting directly to Hillels serving students across the CUNY school system, including Marymount, FIT, Parsons, Queens College, Brooklyn College, Baruch College, Hillel of Staten Island. We are also supporting NYU, Columbia, and Barnard, and our support extends up the Hudson River to the cadets at the United States Military Academy through West Point's Jewish Chapel Fund, where Jewish life has thrived since West Point's first class in 1802. These Jewish students across New York have our support in pursuing academic excellence, in strengthening their Jewish identities, and deserve recognition for their merit. On Rosh Hashanah, you heard from Temple President Harris Diamond that the world needs Temple Emanu-El now more than ever. I want to be clear that none of these grants happen without a strong Temple Emanu-El, which is sustained by a separate fund, the Fund for Emanu-El. We are the only synagogue in the country who makes 2 separate appeals each year. We do this because we know we can and we know we must. Not a dime to the Philanthropic Fund stays at Emanu-El. It is all deployed over the course of the year, ranging from our soup kitchen right over there, which runs uninterrupted, to the work of the Tikkun Olam Committee that serves New Yorkers regardless of their race, religion, and orientation. There are pledge cards on your seats and blank cards for guests. You may also pledge through our website, and for those watching remotely, a link should also appear on your screen. Anyone can give, and each gift is important. Over these next 24 hours, I'll think of Captain Bender, and I'll think of the next link in the chain, our son who was born here 13 days after last October 7. Part of the reason we named him Raphael or Rafi is that the name Raphael means to bring healing into the world. Your support of the Philanthropic Fund advances healing for Kalalius Ra'el, the Jewish people, and for the entire world. Thank you so much.